Good morning everyone. I will probably work today on some modeling on the benches inside of the chart because I was using all of them just for testing, and now it seems working, so I think I will just modeling all of them today. I have found a few pictures. I have one for reference. I was also checking yesterday how the paintings could be, and I was just cutting the UV and reorganizing, so both of them are being both sides, so I have all of them being repeat, but I have also the UV matching where the windows are, and then I will just try to do later something nicer, just painting, so I can reuse the texture already, and I will use probably something different here, both sides without ending. Also I would like to close this one here and also this one here to pose only on that way and not just in front, being everything closed. So I need to redo a bit about this church here, about the stairs here, and then put a wall here with some proxies, and that's all. I was also working on the transition between inside and outside, which is not perfect at the moment, which is fine, but not working very well. Well, going inside is fine, but going outside is with cutting the light. I could just show you in a while. So that is something that I need to be improved later, but that's fine. Especially only on time when it's early in the morning, for example, you have the fog is strong, because if you are just having a midday or things like that, the fog is not really strong, so there's not a big difference between them. But just in the morning or in the evening, it's just, you can see a lot. That's the reason I'm planning to have here a wall, to avoiding going straight forward and then going on this corner, and this is easy enough to see all those different lining from them, but more or less it's working fine. And also, for example, the sound for being inside outside is also being controlled, and I was adding those doors that are just automatic closing, so when you are just leaving or being a bit out, they're just opening closing all the time, which is, I think, should be expecting for the chart being closed all the time. The rest of the door in houses and things like that, they are not, so it's only those things are being closed. And also when the mess starting, the door is opening, and then you cannot even close this one. Also, to avoid the NPCs coming here, could be easier not blocking with the doors of the time. So I was also checking to reuse those benches that are already actors that I have, but I had some problems yesterday with adding this one to the blueprint charts. I don't know why, but I was just already and losing also the properties for all the benches, and I have problem with a lot of RAM using, so a few problems on it. So what I was planning to do is just modeling only the mess and reuse this one, but without any mess. That was just testing, and it's just taking only the proxy. In that case also I could really easy to do having a few seats of them, and I can have like 3 of them per bench, so I can, let's say, sit together more than one NPCs. Really easy. I don't really need to change the code and just reuse the one that I have with this code for the seat. So just reuse in case I need to fix something, I will have also there. So that is something easy to do, and I don't need to really do a lot of. The only problem is just I need to create those seat benches, blueprints, actors in the level, and then assign to the chart to reuse later. That is not a big problem, because I'm not planning to have like the charts are not moving and I don't have a lot of them that I'm just changing. But it will be even good that I can redefine something different from the level with the same charts. Let's say I could just create different places, benches, and things like that. So it would be even easy to manage this one. So yeah, I will. Yeah, could be easy. For example, having like a few places for the player and the rest of them for the NPC, so we are not messing each other. For example, when the player is sitting down there and need to be not assign this one to the NPCs, but it takes a few times until they are sitting. So during a few seconds, it should be able to be the player sitting, and then the NPC is coming later and this is busy. So to avoid this kind of problem, or just trying to assign or fix before they are moving, because just moving takes a few seconds. So they are assigned here when they arrive, they are assigned here to the bench. So that's the reason that need to be avoiding this way. Is probably creating more. Some of them are available for the player and the rest are only available for NPCs. In that case, it is good, you know, that's having this one. So yeah, things like that could be good. So I think I will do today a few messes for the benches. I have found a few references. Let me try to show you where do I have them. Reference here I have this is the one that I would like to have. Let me show you. And then opening the picture. But I have found something from internet. Of course, you don't have a lot of reference, but because most of them have been changing and all of them were just wooden benches, so we have completely lost this one after a few years, I understand, and there is not much. So I have found this one, which could be a good reference trying to do something like that. I will just put all together probably. So could be easy to model, quite simple, all together here. And I have like 2 rows that are just exactly the same, adding a few proxies, and then I will add all those seat benches, having like a special proxy for some reason, things like that. So I could just create all of them in a row, and then it's easy to assign them to be sitting. So the code for that is already done, so it should be working without any change. But what I need to do is just this model, which seems really easy to model. I will probably avoid this circle because it's just something that takes much more triangles, or well, could be something nice like that. I was just planning to do something completely square or just curve, something like that. But yeah, could be good. And I see, for example, of those things that could be also good to have coming from this one. It is easy, and those small details just matching with them, also with this stick here. So this one could be easy to do, and it's not using much space. We need to have more space, at least the capsule size, otherwise it's not enough for the NPC just walking or even the player. So it's just taking care about this, but the rest is just fine. So I think this one is really easy to model. I can try something today and then probably improve later. I can use the array, so it's just easy to modify one of them. And after I will put on this chart and I will add all those benches. So that's the thing that I'm doing. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, so let's open Blender. It's just opening. So that's what I was just cutting down the small parts for painting, so this is easy not having the big one, and I can reuse the texture with more detail and even repeating, but this is a good idea repeating all of them for the windows. So that's one thing. And I would like to do today is the benches. For that probably I need the walls, what more, just as a reference. I think the tower and this step, no, not this one, this floor step, just having as a reference for them. I will probably need having the capsule, like, let me check this one for example is being located on 1.3. It's kind of 1.5 meter, I think. Just taking here the coordinate is like 130, which is enough, but we can just check later about the enough mesh for that. We need to be at least enough space for them. So 1.5 meters is something small, but of course it's possible already to sit here. And then I don't need really to have like 20 of them, so 1.5 could be good distance for them, for this one. So in that case we can have here inside like the bench, and then and then 1.5 meter between them, between the benches. So let's just cube, and then we will use mirror and array. So the first thing is mirror on E-axis and then array. Like 4 then or 5, probably constant distance should be 1.5. So we could think about having something like that. I need to check about how many things we could use using this 1.5. Well, which is just only 4, but if you think about in any of them can be 3, you have like 3 here, 3 here, 3 and 3, which is 24, and I'm not planning to have 24 NPCs here, so this is more than enough, I think. So we don't need to have another row, probably. Even in the picture you have all of them, because it's really small place between them. It's not possible for a game just walking inside with this capsule. I'm not planning to deactivate the capsule when just trying to sit or things like that. So this is something really small, and I will just create a bit less than them. So just 4 rows I think is more than enough. What I need to do now is just taking this size that will be like let's align them, so in case that we have already this, we don't need the walls at the moment. Just to say how long it is. Where is my tower? Oh, here. So we could just align here. scale x0, and after that I will move like GS 1.5. oh sorry, should be like 30 centimeter probably, so GX 0.3, and this one need to be located on, let me just be sure that we have this. This one need to be located around 50, so 1.5. we can adjust later. And this one need to be, let's say, 0.48. so we are just giving like 20 centimeter for that, but it's probably not enough, so 30 centimeters I think it's better. And checking out the size, I think we need at least maybe 2 meters for them, so this one needs to be 2 meters. We'll just take here the scale on E, this is a 0, this one is going to 75, and this one needs to be also E minus 0.75. In that case we have 1.5 meter, should have. Checking about this, just as you can see this is 1 meter, so 1.5 meters that we have for this bench. Probably in the middle you don't need 2 meters, but a bit less, like 1 meter could be enough. So we can just, let's say, move a bit to this point, and this is enough. And let's check about the walls, that they are really far, so we have a lot of space, and could be even probably, or just extending this one a bit to make longer, or just being available to be both sides walking. What I do is just GE 0.5 and then 0.5, so we have 2 meters. We have now 2 meters, and of course from the top is not enough, so we need to move to have at least kind of 1 meter could be enough, or even more. Like this is 2 meters, it seems to be a lot. And what about the walls? We still have some space, but of course we don't have enough space to walk on this way. In that case we could move this one to adjust to have here 1 meter, which is enough, and then 1 meter also left right if we are just moving a bit, probably. But at the moment just keep as it is, so we keep this one, and I will add now something on the button that need to have this one. So before we do that, let's try yeah, let's just duplicate this and then rotate it 90. We have this, and then the scale need to be a bit smaller, and then we will move something like that. That needs to be even something much smaller. Just check about the picture that we have. Something like that could be enough. And then let's create this both sides that we have. So let's duplicate this one, but only this part. So this is rotating from X 90, and then rotate at 90 also. Scale will be smaller. Let's go into the button. Scale here, and what we need to do is something like that, and scale X should be bigger enough to cover this one. Something like that. We could probably add some detail here, removing some part of them to be nicer, and we can create later. I think we just I don't have the face here, which is fine because I'm planning to do something on the top. And for that one we could create something smaller here, because I see that this is already the space that we need, and I will probably cut down this between a few parts, so we have yeah, we could probably do the same for both sides. So in that case, yeah, I was thinking we can cut late in the middle and just copy paste both sides. So let's work on one side only, and it's easy just to. So I will extend this a bit, and I will create a few cuts here. So for that I will just take both sides and subdivide. No, probably it's better to have just this round, and we can merge later all of them. So we need to have this at least this one. Yeah, so in that case we remove those faces, so I need this one, not this one, not this one, and also not this one. So we have something like that for trying to do things like this, you know, something nicer like that. And we need to create also the faces, so let's create a few faces here. Oops, it's a face here, and just to have this closed, and probably will improve a bit this later. It's not so nice, but that's the idea, to having this one here. This is just the detail that we are moving on. Yeah, this one is also cut in there, so probably we need to have smaller on E to have this thing that you can already see just moving inside, going inside to this match here. So this is one of the things, and we should have also the same for the top. So I will just extrude this one also, but I think I will keep this as it is. So it's just this one could be enough, or I could just create something smaller. Let's keep this. Let's keep this as it is right now. Or yeah, let's create something smaller. So for that I will use this, and then I will reduce this one. Well, I would like to have both of them. Okay, scale, no X, just like that, because you cannot see the rest of them, so we can just use this one, make it easier. And of course we need to create something nicer here, but at the moment it works. And yeah, this is the one that I would like to have also, that is visible from this part. So in that case we need to move both of them, something like that, so you can see that this is just matching with them. Probably a bit more, something like that. We can change later the size to see that it's not going well or nice, but yeah, that's the idea. I will probably try to import already to the engine, because I want to see how it's going. For that we need to do all the UVs, so let's create a few UVs. For that I will use this one. Good morning, evening. just modeling the benches for the chart. I'm just planning to replace, because I was using mine here with a generic one, and I'm trying to do something much nicer. And what I'm trying to do is something like that. I have a few references here, so it's not so nice or complex, but I think it works quite well. Did you streaming tonight? Your morning? I think it's yeah, I think it's well, now it's 12 for me, which means for you is 3 AM, or what's this? Or the opposite one? I think it's 3 AM for you. That's really early. So did you stream tonight? Yeah, exactly. It's just too late for you. Yeah. I woke up early, but oh, that's cool. I was using already like 1 year ago. I was just trying for this 30 days demo version that I was just testing, and I really like it. I thought it was it's just working. It takes a bit of time to understand things. I was just watching videos from official channel, because I have good ones and a few more random from YouTube, and it was helping a lot. And yeah, I was just mainly working with the normal maps that you can just recreate, match between them and so on. The only problem that I see is just taking the texture is fine for every single object, but if you try to do the same for all of them, or for example big things like the houses, you need like 4 key or 8 key textures for every of them, and then it's just growing a lot, and I don't know how many textures that you really need, and this is a lot for big things. For small things it's fine, because of course you are just planning to use the texture for them, but even being really nice, I just take another path, and trying to use generic textures to be not only faster, but also reducing a lot number of textures and the size of them. I'm using decals, which is probably, well, it's kind of performance, but compared with the time spending on this Samsung's painter, that you need like 1 day for every asset you want to do something nice, really. But yeah, definitely it's much nicer, and all your apps, as you can see, that they are really, you know, nice and not just generic as any of others. So yeah, I think it worth the time spending there, try to do something nice. For that I will try I will try something like that. Let me see how it's going. Of course it's going bad. So what about this? This is this one, which is easy, of course. This one is the one that I was just trying to do something strange here, and yeah, this one needs to be also seams and wrapping. Yeah, I have the problem just merging between them. There's something strange here. This is completely wrong here. I will remove later all those things that don't really need it. Marsim. Well, this one is going better. This side is fine, and there is something here in the middle that I'm not sure what is this exactly. So I just think about this. So I'm just cutting down here, and I'm missing this. also. I don't know, what's this? Where is this one coming from? So, okay, this one. Oops. Okay, now it's much better. Still, they're just overlapping them. So that's what I need to do is this one needs to be connected to this side. So this one will be same, and I will click this. Yeah, this one. I'll probably have the same problem with another side. It's just not enough space for them. So maybe I could use yeah, this. I could try to do, if I'm just going from this point, going there, and then just starting from, let's try this way, and should be clean this one. So this is going that way, and this is the one that needs to be. Let's try one of them. Completely broken something here. What I was trying to do is just this one is doing all the cross along, so this is going here, and this is going on. This marks him, so this is just taking this part. Jesus, I don't want to do a completely separate part, so that's why I was trying to do something like take this and then take this one. I will take this, and then what I need to do is just going this one, this direction, and then this. And another one will be to the top, so this something like it's going there, it's going there, marks him, and this one I will try to do such direction. Okay, let me see. Well, this one is not overlapping, so that's good. And I need to do the same for this, but completely the opposite way. So just the same, but this will be this marks him, this not. Need to be repeated like this. So this is this one, and not this, and this is the same as this one. So clear this and add this. Okay, more or less it's almost done, but the problem is they are just matching. So what I need to do is also there. Yeah, so it need to be not the opposite one, but exactly the same one, so they are going in the same direction. So this marks him, and then it's just this one, and this one clears him, so they are not overlapping between them. Exactly, so that's the way to have all of them not overlapping, and there is nothing here, so this is going well. I think this is going well, except this part in the top that is not going well, and I will try some approximation with say this, and then for that I will do kind of cross. So this, and this one also. Unwrap. Well, this part is fine. It's more or less fine. The problem is what here I didn't do anything that needs to be done. Unwrap. Okay, since that at the moment, well, only this one overlapping, so we need to take care about this small part, because even overlapping for the texture could be more or less fine. Just repeating is not a big problem, but when the Unreal Engine is trying to do the like mapping, they say overlapping, and it's not possible to solve this one. So at least even overlapping between them, I mean, I can overlap, for example, this one over this and this one. This is completely fine. This is not a problem at all, because after that we'll just reduce this one and put together, so the live maps is easy to create, not overlapping and not taking care about this. But for that case, this is not possible at all to avoid this overlapping, so we'll have this warning or problem there. So what I need to do is just moving probably this one to here, this face or that face, and should be enough. We need to check later also about the direction of the wood, that to be sure that it's going on the right way and not the opposite one. But yeah, probably I need in the end just cut down this small part, and then, well, you can see this one, so that's why I was just trying to do something nicer. But I always try to have as more as possible the UV having less island, because every single point that you have in the border need to be calculated 2 times, because this point is paying in both sides of the island, so the shader need to paint 2 times this pixel, or just recalculating 2 times. So having more island and more vertices out of this island means you are more and more duplicating point to paint on the shader. So that's why I'm trying to have as less as possible island here. For example, I want to have only 3 and not this small part, and there's another one, and there's another one, and then having like 4 or 6 of them, because every single point, as you can see here, will be duplicated. So that's why I'm trying to put all of them in only one, and not just as easy as possible just cut here, you know, and have completely different island, and then I'm repeating all of them. So that's why I'm trying to do something in one single mesh, and also, for example, rotating and things like that is easier. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just match this one. So the one that we have problem is this and this one. So I will just add 2 instead of cutting here. I want to have all of them going there, so what I need to do is just mark here, and the same for that. So this is mark sim, and then remove this. Okay, so you can see here that we are not, we are overlapping, but the thing is, it's just having this one in this part probably, but that was the idea. So in case that I have this, it's just going on this way. Or probably I will end just cutting down all those details, and that's all. Could be much easier. So I just need to cut here, and I will have a new island, and that's all. Yeah, that's the thing that I have here, an island, and well, I can create now something much easier with this. So the thing is, this one need to be cleaned up, and anyway, even like that is not so easy, because I want to have this one in the same direction. Otherwise I will have this one rotated, because you have a few degrees here. That's why I'm trying to have all of them in the same shape. So let's say you take this one. Well, first of all, you need to click a lens one, and then let's say you go on this way, and then you have this, and probably we need to cut again in some place. Too much cutting, but could be let me try all of this one. So I will just select all of them from the one that we have. I will do is just inverting, hiding, and also we have only this small part to be wrapping. Much easier to manage this one we have already. We will just change it later. So let's probably clear all the seams and try again with something easier. So this will need to be connected to this one. Oops, this, and this. This is definitely a seam. So I need to go on that way. And I think it's much easier than I was just thinking. Yeah, exactly. That's really easy. And even I could try this one, just showing everything. And in that case, what I need to do is just cutting this one probably. And let me see if we can have. No, not enough. So if I start going this way, and also this and this, I'm trying to reuse this surface that we was creating, but exactly we have already here this kind of cross. Okay, so finally we have the UV for that. What we need to do is assign material will be good, but I want to have this good too. For the material, just using and not creating a new material because it needs a new flow code. I have already a lot of them, as you can see. I have like 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different materials for this chart. So I have already 11 raw colors only for this building. So I'm trying to reuse, for example, for the wood, reusing all of them. Another thing that I need to do is assign this one like benches and assign to the group to be exported. And let's export this. I want to check initially the size if we are going well or is something too small, big, or things like that. For that, I will just delete this with a net already and then re-import. It's importing. Let me see. One material with different UV settings to textures, but how you can do that? I mean, you think about this one, for example. I have this there, and then this is my UV that I have. This in the background. Let's say you have one picture for good, and that's all. So I could use only one single texture, but then what's the size of this one? Because 4 key or 8 key is not enough for all of them. For example, all the good. You mean this small square is good, this small square is, for example, bricks, this small square could be the floor, things like that. But in that case, it's really small. The resolution is really small, and then you have big pixels for the texture. That's why I have like this is one texture, and then I have kind of another UV space for another texture and things like that. So every single texture needs to be, it's not really a texture but a shader, because for example there is not only one picture but the shader managing a few of them with a normal map and things like that. So every kind of background that you have here for the UV need to be managed by one shader, and then you put usually one picture, base color plus maybe normal, and then you can manage, for example, adding some dirt there, merging them, or you can use, for example, this wall aligning, things like that. So one background on the UV should be one shader, which is kind of one material. So if I put all of them, I need to manage all the material with one shader, which could be fine, but for example I cannot use this waterline for this small part but not waterline for this part, and then I need to create maybe different shaders with the same texture, but in the end one texture for all of them will be really small resolution, so you cannot use one of them. Of course I can reuse, let's say for example that if I have only this one small one and I have a windows, for example windows are using this small part, this is something large, and then I have all those space that I can reuse in the same texture. I will not reuse the shader, but I can reuse the texture for something, for example small. I have a few details here, so I can reuse one texture with half of them for something and then another one for something more. But if I'm trying to use this texture, for example with tiles that are just seamless, I cannot use this one, I cannot reuse this one. This is the main reason that the problem that I was telling you, well not a problem, but the issue is you are using a substance finder. Every single object or mesh have your own texture and you are reusing as you want this texture, but you cannot reuse this texture for any other asset. So that you need to create one single texture per every object. If this object is the kind of discharge so big, then you need to reuse something really big, because for example here I'm using this one, is a generic texture that's just tileable, so I'm using here and I don't care how big it is. I'm using here and I have enough detail, as you can see, enough detail because I'm just repeating them, so it's not one single picture for all those space. And for example the roof the same, because I'm just repeating all of them, and then you can see that you have enough details. You are just trying to have one single for them, and then it's definitely not enough. So you need to have really 4 key, and probably it's not enough for this one, so you need 8 key here, here, and also here. And also you try to put not decals but also 30 here. You need to have this one and then another one here for the different ones, and then the wood, and yeah, in the end you have like 10 of them, but 4 key or 8 key, which means, I don't know, 200 megabytes by 300 megabytes that need to be moved to the GPU every single time. Probably you don't see any difference from your computer and also your GPU, but just try something low specs and you can see that reading 300 megabytes every time that you move your camera, you know, even catching, but need to move to the pool of the GPU, and all the textures on the GPU are uncompressed, so they are really using like 4 bytes, because you are using RPGA, 4 bytes per every pixel, and you have 4 key, you have 4 million by 4 million square, or 4 bytes each of them, so you have really easy to fool all your memory with such big texture, which is fine for your portfolio ArtStation, things like that is fine, but trying to do a real game you will be popping or texturing streaming all the time, so it's just something that I'm trying to avoid. And this is something that you figure out, or you face this problem when you try to do a real game and not just stand out for ArtStation as 90% of the people is doing, you know. This is something that you start doing and this is fine, you have performance fine, and then you start struggling with for example streaming texture all the time, and then your frame rate is falling down because you are using, for example, so complex shader, and going on and on and on, and the problems are being bigger. So that's why I try to cut down as soon as possible those kind of problems, especially for my computer. I can't really not manage much of the thing. It's not only about the pool, but my hard drive takes 20 megabytes a second, and this is a peak, so usually it goes like 5 megabytes, maybe less. So trying to move like 100 megabytes of textures, it takes 20 seconds. It's not popping 3, it's taking 20 seconds of your time, so you can just cross half of the map before you have your textures there. Of course this is a streaming texture, you know, but well, but the thing is I have 11. Try to do this with less than this. Just putting here this bench, this is one, because one object, one actor. This one is another another draw call, so this is 2 already. Having 6 benches are 6 draw call. If you go here, you can see that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I can say like it's like a 50 here. This big one have 10, which is how to do that. I'm just using 1 per material, and that's all. So if you want to have one single draw call for this object, all of them using only one single texture and one single shader, what is the size of your texture to manage all of them? Just try to do that. It's just not I mean, I like that kind of questions just to explain where you are ending after trying to do something real. So try to do this chart with one single texture, and you will see how big it needs to be to have at least some kind of resolution, you know. That is so big, and then for one it's fine. As I say, if you are trying to do some extent with some screenshot, it's good, but try to put a few of them with, well, in that case, if you are repeating, then you cannot see this one because it's only one texture being loaded all the time. But put a few of them with these 4 key textures and try to move there, you know. So it's just like you cannot cut down the draw call. This is the minimum 1 draw call per material. And how to do that? I mean, putting in the same texture this wall, this roof, and then the benches, and this wall also, and all the details for the stairs, and how to put all of them in one single texture. Oh, it's completely impossible to have them, so it will be really big. You see that you can do really nice bench, one single bench with one single texture, and you can do a lot of details, adding for example this normal for details, something like metallic parts, things like that. That's cool, but you need to have one map for the base color, another one for the normal, another one for specular, probably another one for roughness if you are not adding on the normal channel probably, and things like that. So in the end you have four textures that you need to use for one material. Okay, this is one draw call, but how big are the materials? How big are the textures? Because you have 4 of them, you know, and you cannot reuse in any other object in your map, because it's exactly for your UV, for your details, normals, and things like that. In my case, using this another approach, I have this one, which is the same one, shader and material on this one, and this is the same as this one and this one, and so on. So I'm reusing the same texture. So in the end you have like maybe 10 textures that they are 1 key, and not 4 key, 1 key, but being repeat and having more details. You have enough detail on your materials, just reusing exactly the same. So I don't have big textures, and I'm reusing all the textures. Of course I have draw calls because I have some cost, but anyway, you cannot have less than 1 draw call per object. This is impossible to have less than 1. This is of course you need to paint with one shader. So this is 1 and this is 1. Using the same texture or not using the same texture, anything, using one object need to be painted one time. Of course I can just merge them if I'm not using, for example, using the same shader with the same texture. I can completely merge them later to improve this one, and then reducing the number of draw calls. I can merge them because they have the same material with the same shader. They are in that case like sharing the UV space. So even if they have, because they are the same, but I'm thinking about any other thing. Let's try something different. For example, this one and this one. Okay, on this table and this table, they are completely different, and they are using completely different UV, but the same texture. So they share the space and the same shader. They're painting exactly the same with the same normal map, with the same base color map. So they are exactly the same. I could merge them. Because they have exactly the same shader. But if this one, I was creating a map for this one, I have this base color only for this one with the details. For example, I don't know, here some there, or some metallic things here, or few things like that. So I have my normal map and base color map that I cannot reuse here, because otherwise I have a few dots here. Normal map is not mapping, and so like that. So I couldn't merge them because they are not using exactly the same. In that case, you have one draw call and one draw call, and you cannot even merge them. And it's not about big or small, or there's nothing about this. You cannot merge them because they are using completely different texture. That's all. You cannot reuse them, so you cannot merge them. You have two different draw calls. I can merge later and you can't. And then for big things like that, I can merge also with this one. Well, in that case this is an object I don't want to merge because I have code, but I mean I could merge this one with this one because they use the same materials and just different UV with the same materials with the same shader. So in that case, for example, I have here probably 3 or 4 different materials, like one of them, 2, 3, 4 here, I don't know, maybe another one. So I can maybe this house have 5 draw calls, you know. But how to do that so big, so much detail about the details that I have, for example, here in woods, or details about the stones. How can you manage? Because the rest is just they are just pick up. I don't like talk about that. But look at this, you have enough detail in this texture because you are repeating. Otherwise, it's not possible. Having one single texture for this size on screen is not possible. So think that you need to fill at this distance. You need to fill the whole screen with one single texture. What is the size of these textures? You know, there's 4 key. All of them need to be 4 key because you can be close enough to have your screen fill of this one. So that's why I'm doing a few props or doing for ArtStation. It's really easy, really nice, and they are really much better than my asks. I agree completely, and I was just thinking about create a few then later for having more nicer parts. But talking about buildings or big things is not possible. This is not the way to go, and you need to create a few different materials for them, and in that case you have a few different draw calls for a building. So there is no way to really to manage this one with you know, with one single draw call for the whole building. Just try to do something, as you will see in 5 minutes what I'm talking about. If you don't get it, that it's not possible to have enough resolution for one single big object on screen with one single texture. I mean, when I say one single texture, I mean, for example, the one for stones and the other one for roof. It's not like you need to put all the materials all together in one. I mean, you can use a few of them, but even like that, you need to reuse and create something like seamless and tiling on it to have enough details. Yeah, you can use, for example, let's say for this one is tiling that you don't really need to take much care, but for example for the door, which is something kind of small, you can use specific textures for only the wall, which is something that I'm planning to do in the future, for example. But you don't need to create one single texture for this part because this is something generic, so you don't really need this one and you can avoid this. Or for example this, you know, there's something that okay, you can repeat and that's all. You don't really need to have much more details. It's the same for all the roof. You don't need details. Probably I need detail for this one, so this one will be one single texture. But anyway, every single different material is one draw call, and this is, you cannot avoid this. Just putting all together to have one draw call, you are multiplying by 10 times maybe the size of the texture, so which is not reducing draw call for free, you know. So you have also some cost on it, and doing like that is not perfect solution, and you don't need to worry about any other thing. So yeah, just to reduce all those things and all the textures that are just streaming and the size of your pool, for example, because you have like 4 gigabytes is quite good, but you have 1 gigabyte, you can say this really being plenty of them. I don't remember what's the command to show here the let me see which one, to see how much texture I'm already using. Well, it's the editor, of course, I understand, but probably the GPU. No, what I want. I don't remember the where to see memory that I'm using for the GPU. This is memory, the one that we need. Well, texture memory pool here. I have 1 GB, and what I'm using is 700 at the moment. 700 having everything being tailable, so I don't have specific for them, but they are big and they need to be all of them. What is this? Use a streaming pool. Let's see, 100. Being all of them repeated and then reusing all of them. Anyway, it's just enough to have 700 here, like 300. You can see. So I'm just not using a specific texture for all of them. So yeah, it's almost impossible to keep down this, because even having like one key, as I say, is like 1 million by 1 million by 4. That's all the device that you have. Even if your GPG or PNG is something, or TGI is something smaller, on the GPU need to be uncompressed, and it means a lot of bytes. So that's why you are just feeling quite fast all your pool for streaming, for texturing. Even you don't have so big textures on your let's say on your hard drive, but this is not the real size for the GPU. On the GPU you need to be everything uncompressed, and that's the reason that I'm using so much memory here. That's the reason. So just try to do something smaller. I see that people really like this one. I like also, I agree, but this is impossible. You need to use half of them, like for example for small things, nice details, but the rest of the thing you need to use something bigger, tiles, especially for example walls, buildings, or things like that. Otherwise it's not possible to create something so small. And creating different material means again draw cards, so you are not reducing draw cards at all if you are creating something specific textures per any of them. You cannot put all together the walls, the roof, the floor, all of them in one single texture. It's impossible. I mean, it should be really huge for this one. Well, in the future everybody will use 16 key textures for sure, that's as I agree, and then 10 million polys on the screen is fine. Yeah, but at the moment this is not like that, so we need to wait a bit and try to reduce this one. So I have all my texture on the game are 1 key. All of them are 1 key, and most of them are not even using normal. There are some of them without even normal, which means 2 times less, because people say like 1 key and 2 keys is 2 times bigger, but it's just to do the math. You see that from 1 key to 2 key is 4 times bigger. So if you go to 4 key, it means 16 times bigger your texture compared with 1 key and not 4, which is just increasing 16 times is really low. So that's why trying to keep down as much as possible and then reuse material. So that's why, for example, here I was using in this one I was using reusing materials here to reuse the same map, but they are tileable, so I don't need to care about this, and I don't need to create new draw call, because I'm having in the end I'm just of course merging the all the meshes, so I have only 1 draw call per material. All the meshes, objects, all together of course are going to the same object, passing only 1 time to the GPU, but need to draw to paint every single material. So having this is one material, this is another material, and this is another material. Of course, if I'm reusing this one here, because it's the same one, even having different size is fine. This is the same material and this one, so this is 1 single draw call for all of them. From the bottom, top, and everything is just only 1 single material, 1 single draw call. But if I have 10 different materials, I need to have 10 different draw calls. So this is not possible to reduce this one or to put all together in the same UV. As I said, this is huge texture, so and you can even not manage. I think you cannot manage this one. So I think they have been of course trying maybe table or just something small, some weapon with this Samsung painter, which is really doing great job. It's really nice. But try something bigger. Let's just say like put the castle there, just a big building like a house, and try to put there all the texture, and you will see. Of course, you can even repeat on this on the system panel. You can repeat the texture, but in the end, it's just repeating on the same picture. So it's just helping you to repeat this one, but it's not like using tile level textures. You know, it is exactly creating only one single. So that's why, for example, with the UVs, you cannot repeat UVs or overlay UVs if you want to use with this Samsung painter, because in that case you cannot paint two different pixels for the same place position, so it's not possible to have this overlapping. In my case, I don't have, and you can see here, for example, that I'm overlapping all of them, and even I can show you, for example, about the roof that I have. No, not this one. I mean the wood, roof wood here. So let's take this one. As you can see here, I have a lot of them, but I can do that. I mean, I can put them on this map, and I can repeat all of them, and this is not a problem for me because I'm just painting with the same shader, and even they are sharing the same texture here. They are really not being painted the same one, and I will show you on Unreal Engine. You can see here, let's check this, which have already all of them all together. So they are all of them merged. So let's go to the UV channel. This is my UV channel. As you can see, I don't have any problem overlapping them because every single object is going to the UV going exactly the same. As you can see here, I have a lot of outside, and this is not a problem. And if you go to the UV channel for lining, that's the one that I have, which is all of them, all the spaces. As you can see here, I have all of them in the same UV. This is just for lining. Okay, so in that case, look at the size of this wall and think that this is the space that you have. Well, you could of course reduce this one. This is just cutting down much smaller, but let's say that you have 2 times bigger. With 4 key, you have maybe 300 pixels. You don't have more. I mean, think about, this is 4 key, so this is 2, this is 1 key, and this is like 300 pixels. Okay, so you need to go to the screen and fill this part, this texture, with 300 pixels. Okay, my screen is full HD, so I have like 2000 here. This is more like 1000, but I have only 300 pixels from the texture. So in the end, I have big pixels here, like 3 pixels repeats every single time for the texture, which is clearly not enough details, as you can see. So, and this is the big one for key, because you are even streaming, some of them are even smaller, you know. So having like 300 pixels for this wall is completely wrong. It's not enough, and exactly the same for all of them. I mean, to have like 10 pixels here for a table, which is not possible to use this one. But if I check the one that I'm using for painting, I mean, this is the one for painting. In that case, you have here, for example, big one or not big one, but I'm just using tiling, so I don't care much about the size. And for example, about the walls, there's nothing here. About the walls, I'm using wall aligning for the texture, so I can just kind of define the size of them. And my UV is being completely ignored. I mean, the size is completely ignored. I can just rotate this one or doing something, but the only thing is about the lining, but not about my painting. I mean, I can just do right now if you want on the walls, and this is my well, I need to do this one. So like I have, I don't know, some of them, like this is one of the walls, or that's the this is one of the walls outside. Okay, so I will do like scale 0.1. okay, I will move here, and I will rotate also, rotate 45 degrees, which is something that could be completely wrong for my wall. Okay, and this is really small, so I don't think that I will have a lot of details for that. But if I check my free import, Very simple. My shader is not taking at all this UV, so for that reason I will have still loading. Okay, it's already loaded. I don't have any problem with this because I'm using one raw cal, one different material for this one using this space. So what about my UV? It's completely ignored. As you can see, it's going well. It's working. I don't have any problem with this. So all my walls are well. This is working. But of course I need to have one single material, one single shader for this wall, which means one raw cal. That's the only thing. So there is no way to do less than this. That's the point. So yeah, I hope that's explained enough that you can understand this one. This is a good question, but not, I mean, you know, it's disturbing me about this. Not at all. That's good to share all those things, that you just try to do something like that. As I did initially, I tried something like this, so it's quite good, but after a few times I figured out that this is not the way to go and started having problems, and the site is too small. I need to create more textures, and then in the end you see that, well, this is not the right way to do that. And I was just checking on the internet also how people is managing that kind of things, or big ones, how to reuse the textures to not having a lot of them or loading a lot of them. So yeah, this is things like that. If of course you are thinking about games like Resident Evil, for example, when all the lights is just bake, and then you can use, for example, the normal map even baking, which is really nice. But you have a small house with all the game. I mean, it's just, I don't know, a few textures that could even reuse or even not using, and even just moving from room to room. You are, let's say, removing all the texture from the GPU and only using new ones. But you have open world, and you need to walk, and you have a lot of different creature textures, NPCs, and you have foliage, buildings, all of them at the same time on screen. You have a lot of texture that you really need to have all the time on screen. So that's the thing that, well, you need to use something different, you know. So you have any question or something is not clear enough, just let me know. I will try to show you maybe something that you can understand it. So what we was doing is just checking the size of this. Okay, I forgot completely about this. So let's use this guy. Well, in fact we have this one as a reference, so more or less is enough. But you can see the distance is fine, so that's good. Probably it's a bit down because I was just using the floor over the real terrain, and this is just cutting like 10 centimeters or 20 centimeters, things like that. So we need to move later this one matching with the real floor of the church. Now to about this, so this will be probably a bit more like this, and then this is just matching with benches. Yeah, I don't think that this one is, because I don't have any proxy at the moment, so it's this. So in the future we'll have some time I will just create specific per object with, for example, this sunset pendant, or for example with a few tables or benches, things like that, something smaller I can use, and I could just reuse this one, especially because right now I'm doing the town, so the town is something simple, everything. But if I'm doing later, for example, the castle, the things will be not repeating so much and will be nice, and then yeah, and I can just create something generic, or I could create something really nice. For example, here creating this chart or creating the paintings that I didn't finish yet, but those paintings cannot repeat in the game again. It's just you can see so much, and this is something from this point, this building, and nothing more, so I cannot repeat or reuse this one. So in that case I could use something nicer that I'm not reusing any other place. For example, you know, paintings on walls, or just having some frames, things like that, that you really are not planning to reuse, and then it's something nice to do with this kind of tools. But for the rest of the thing, that all of them are the same, just reusing all the materials, which in the end also likes good having all of them together, because they are more or less the same color textures, you know. But yeah, that's so the thing is, you need to use both, or could be good to use both. So for some things or details things you use custom textures, but for generic things you need to use generic texture, and not every single object has your own textures, because it takes not only time but a lot of space on GPU, and it will be really slow on game, you know. So you have seen a few games that are nice, but they are just reading from hard drive all the time, 100%, all the time that you are just walking, because it's just trying to take those textures. Probably don't have this problem, but I had that some of them is just reading completely all the time, removing from GPU, reading a new one, removing the old one, reading a new one, and then it's completely all the time just using hard drive and using the GPU at the same time. So yeah, trying to avoid this and having a lot of space. Most of the tools, I don't know about Unreal Engine, but probably you can just put some, for example, all those numbers, having a maximum number to see, and you should try to have all your levels, limit levels, under, let's say, 1 GB of GPU pool or things like that. So you can see when you are just already passing this level limit, and then you can try to reduce in some places, or you know, remove some objects on your map, or some areas that have a lot of them already. That's all. It's the same for draw calls. You can just have all those draw calls. That I don't remember what's this one. Also, I was just checking, but RC index buffer memory, not this one. Stat or stat system. I don't remember. So you can see also draw calls. I don't. Say the memory game, or even GPU could be. No, this one. I think this one is no, but there is one option also to show how many draw calls you have on screen, and you can see how is this going well or not. Nuggets. What is this? No, not this one. Sorry, I don't remember now which one it is. In GPU could be pre-pass account. No, I don't remember. Are you in game? No, this is about the threads. Okay, anyway, you can check also the draw calls, and I was keeping maybe like 200, 300 sometimes, which is not really bad. I have seen people taking a screenshot with 9,000 draw calls, you know. This is something bad. What's this one? Index buffer. Triangles, for example, you can see here the triangles that are being painted, and so you see, for example, here like going to 2 millions. Draw calls, and you go to the forest, for example, here to have much more triangles, even like that, and just reducing. Thing is, for example, this is scaling, counting all my draw calls for the lights that I have just switched off, so it's just counting much more. But yeah, as you can see, like 2 million, even being something bigger. You go to something like that, because I have all the forest. It's just a track. For example, let's just take this one, and the main one is about terrain, so even just removing a few things like that. Oops, wait a bit, the computer is going. Okay, if I do the opposite one, it's like a only forest. As you can see, this one is the one that is taking really a lot. I see it's just like 2 times more because they have a lot of lights there, and this is counting even the lights that are switched off, but this is counting as I have them, so that's why, as you can see, it's just increasing really a lot. I was checking also on games, finally not in the editor, I have much less than this one, which is I understand this. So you can see, even going inside, of course you have like the same triangle, but in fact you are painting much less, because all of them with a cool distance, and also I cooling for them so you don't see them. Yeah, so you can check at any time you are doing the level to see how it's going, how many triangles and drop cards and things like that. At any time you want to, you know, check how it's going, so you can just check all of them. Let's continue with the benches. So next thing will be, I'm checking the picture. I will add some detail. For first I would like to have this one smaller, probably this one is a bit smaller here also, and adding some detail here. I will leave it a cube, so like a circle. I'm going to create something like that. Just check the picture here, you can see that this is something like a cube that I would like to have. As you check, for example, here this is not much, so I will just try something like this. One, probably something smaller. Maybe that one. Something like that. I was thinking about this cube. I could just move a bit later. I'm also trying to match the vertices to the place that I was just planning to use later, so it will be easier to match all of them. So as you can see, I was just trying to match this one here and this one here, so it will be easier to match them and just replace and then merge with them. Let's try something like that. What I would like to have also is not enough vertices. I think that's having 4 is not a lot, so I would like to subdivide all of them also. So probably need to create again this cycle, but in that case I will use more. Okay. Let's be closer. We have more detail now. So I was planning to do something like that, but this is small. What about this? This is nice. I think this will be nice surface. So what we need to do now is just deleting all of them. Okay, and now we should adjust this one to the same one here. I'm not aligned right now, but I mean just taking this, and this one will be going down to match with this one. We extend later, so that's the one that we need, and this one need to be aligned here to this. So let's try to do something fast like this. So this is something like this, but of course being to the top, so probably like that. And now what we need to do is adjust it to this same, so just taking this distance and then just copy paste here. So you have already aligned this, and we will need to have also here, so just duplicate, and the distance that we need to have in that case is this. So okay, so we have ready this. I will just fill Alt F. Why not? I need to probably close this before I can use. So Alt F, okay, and Control G, no, Alt G, okay, to have just quads. Okay, so we have here this, and I will just try to fill all of them here. I will keep this cut, and now it will be easy to have all the triangles going to this distance here. So let's duplicate this. If we are trying to use well, here I'm just checking what the picture we have. This one round, it is not bad at all. And yeah, I think I will create another cube here to add this one, this round one. So this is a circle, and probably this time is a bit less because we need to have the old cubes. Yes, even less vertices, but I will keep this one. I will remove later some of them. Also, it's not a big problem because just being out of the charts, I will remove all of them with a second load. This is just all the interior are deleting, so you are just only checking this one when you are really close to this one. What we need to do is having this matching kind of things like that, so it's something nice. But also we need to match this one here, so I will just extrude this one. I will use as a reference for that. So this is the one that we need to meet, and also meeting this one. So something like scale, kind of like this. We can adjust slightly later, but just not to break this shape of having with and then you need to go to this point. Let me see who is doing another one. Probably move so slightly high and just move it. So this one is more or less matching. This is no problem. This one could be already moving, and this is also more or less matching also. So yeah, we can just delete these vertices, and we can delete all of them. What we need to do is just matching all of them again. So first thing is what is mine? Oops. Okay, I need to be much closer, and this will be the shape that we have. I think that I will remove a few vertices. This is too much. Let's align also this. Probably there is another way to do that on Blender, but I don't know yet. Duplicate, and do the same, aligning to this one. Okay, so we have this surface that we can probably fill already. Let's try to fill all of them. Alt F. What I will do is just something nicer, so it's just dividing this, and I hope that this is just creating something nicer to the center. Exactly, that is much nicer. So that's exactly the same thing that I'm doing here. What I need is just a dot, and I will try to remove the duplicates later. So this is like subdivide, and then this is Alt F. So we have something nicer to be filling of them. And what we need now is this one and this one only. Alt F also. What I need is just doing that F first, and also this F first. This and this one. Oops, something is going wrong. For some reason, do I have maybe vertices that need to be not there? Let me see what's happening. Why is this one creating? Let's help a bit with just face here. I don't need this. It's not even helping. Probably having a face on the button could be helped. I really don't know. It's not helping at all. Not at all. Okay, so we're just trying to fill this one faster, but we could do like take all of them, extrude, and then just move into these vertices. So I can do like G, and this is just matching. And after that, if I do removing all the doubles and just removing all of them, recreate also the recalculating this one, and I can already delete this face. Let me check this. Only faces. What? There's the face also, and I can delete this. The edge. What I want to see if we have already this one merging or not, the vertices, otherwise we need to do that. So this is already merged, so that's fine. And what we need to do, the final one is here and here, create face, and this is also here a face. And we should also create, just try to help with this. So this is a face. This is a face, and we can just fill the rest of them automatically. I hope that this is going well and it's not taking too much time to do that. So can be completely doing automatically for that. So taking this area, well, not the last one. So just since that not much. Well, it's not so hard to do that, and then Alt F, which is more or less creating fine, and we will do the same here. What I need is this one. Okay, so we have this small, well, finishing this one also. We have already this detailed bench that we can create. Also we need to take this, not the faces, the faces coming to, no, not only this one. I need to have a cube for that. So this is smooth, and need to have also this small part, but not this. Okay, have a rest bit. thank you for coming. See you tomorrow later. If you are also streaming this afternoon, probably will be here to join Joe. Thank you. Bye bye. This is smooth. And what we need to do is having also the edges here being sharp to avoid having. I'm not sure about this. I will just keep as sharp at the moment. But bye bye. But we'll see later if we need to add this chamfer or not. At the moment I will just keep this one as sharp. So we have a nice surface here. Tomorrow night, you mean? Yeah, tomorrow at this time. Yeah. Well, tomorrow at this time I'm not sure if I will be at home, because I will be streaming tomorrow in the evening, not in the morning like today. But yeah, let me see. Of course, I receive an email every time, so I know when you are just start streaming, and I try to join you. Okay, thank you. And we need to do now this this unwrapping. That will be something easy, probably that. Maxim. And what we need to do is also here, and also this one. Maxim. And I would like to have this. Let me see how it's going. So it goes not very well. Yeah, what I'm trying to do, yeah, I'm trying to do this. So this is just having from this size, and then this another side. I don't need this. I think I don't also need this. But what I need to have is this opposite way to cut down. Not sure if this one's going better. Okay, what I want to have is this one side that is connected by two of them, and this is going on the top, and then it's just connecting to this one, and this is connecting here, and I don't have here, so this is something that should be going well. Just to be sure that we are doing properly, I will just try to unwrap this. This is going well. So I'm wrapping this one to see how it goes, and this one needs to be cut down exactly. So if I just create all of them, will be unwrap exactly. This is the one that I'm trying to do, and then after that I want to have here this part being on this side, so this needs to be connected. Fine, do it like that. Okay, that's going well. So that's just to find where I'm missing this link. So this one unwrapping, which is going well at the moment. This unwrapping exactly, and I want to have exactly the same surface but in this part. So probably I'm missing some, I don't know, or maybe this part. So more or less going well. Yeah, I'm missing something here. What's this exactly? Do I have duplicated, or do I have some face inside? I don't have it. No. So what was the reason to have something strange here like that? Unwrapping. Seems like maybe those vertices are not connected, so I should probably remove doubles if I don't have them. Let's see if we don't have those connected vertices. Probably for some reason I since connected, and the thing is, so all of them are connected. Well, this side, or maybe this one. No. So what's the reason to have this? Not this one. And this needs to be just cutting here, so just to be sure. And again we have the same problem. I don't know why. I was just doing step by step and works well, but when I'm doing all together this is not working for some reason. Well, the first thing I will do probably is just removing this edge smooth to see if we are missing. Exactly, we are missing here a couple of edges that need to be also seen. I see, and that's probably the issue that I'm having. Exactly, and I will just redo, because having those edges, sharp edges, you cannot see well about the scenes for the UV, so that's why I'm just removing temporarily. And I will have this, and also oops, this one as sharp, and try again. Now it's fine. So that's exactly what I want to have, and I will probably remove a few of them because I have much. I think it's too much detail, so I can even remove one by one. So this kind of things, and I don't think that we will even notice this one. So delete all the edges, dissolve edges. Okay, and exactly saying here, yeah. Yeah, since not much detail being closer, but I think after even putting a texture on it, I don't think that you can even notice that this is being, yeah. And we reduce a lot of the details for that one. Let's export. I want to see how it's going on the engine. Try import. Still loading. Okay, so finally it's here. Even the textures are just not properly done. I mean, it's just being the opposite way. It needs to be rotating, but as you can see here, it's not possible to see any detail. Even about the lining, it is not well done at the moment. Need to be a built-in lining, but just a surface seems nice enough. Probably this one is cutting too much here. I could just use a kind of bevel chamfer here to reduce speed. This curve, which is not so difficult. It's just probably moving this one a bit down, because we have this one already. But in that case, we need to use also this one as smooth here. And also those one need to be sharp. Probably something like that is enough. Unwrapping. Well, for some reason we are just breaking this. Yeah, because I would like to have this one connected to the line. Since that it is broken again, Ah yeah, I need to connect all of them. Okay, this is the one that we need. So from the engine I can see this one need to be rotated and all of them need to be smaller, so this one need to be rotated, and I will just scale something smaller just to have some details. This is for testing because in the end I'm just reusing the same texture, all of them together, so this is something that I want to do. And I want to save also this one, and let's reload this. Takes long to import, I don't know why. Okay, so this is something a bit nicer, just not this cutting down, which could be nicer, and so the scale is better. We could just try to add a few details on things like this, for example having a hole here or just a small detail something. The one that I was checking, there is nothing there, so it's just so simple. And even this one is much smaller. I see for example here that this texture should be on the opposite way, it should be connected to this one, so probably I'm just cutting here this part and then aligning along. The rest seems fine by matching the direction of the texture. Of course we are missing this part here because I need to copy there, and this is red done. I'm not just doing 2 times. Another thing that we could do is just adding a few details probably here, and also just checking the picture. We need, for example, this kind of things that are just matching here with the one that we are at the moment missing. So I will try to do a few things like that. It's really easy. Just here one like that. One is enough. I don't plan to do 2 of them. So one of them kind of matching with this, and probably hole or things like that here to have some kind of detail, or even easier just thinking about modeling, coming for example across here could be something also easy to do, but it's not very typical from details that I was checking some on the internet, and the thing is having more simple. I'm not really using the cross for details there, so should be something simple. At the moment we will try to do, I don't need this already. Let me restart the editor in the meeting, and we will be working on Blender because it takes really a lot of RAM. It's going slow for the computer. As you can see here, the RAM is just full of them, so I'm just close this one and then keep here at the moment when it's just restarting. So the thing is adding here a new one, which will just a cube, so it's really easy. Just a cube and then smaller. We can even, let me hide all those things. It's just where is my mirror? Here. So just working on one, even we have a lot of them, something like that. Come on. Okay. And we don't need this face easily, so delete this face. And the only thing that we need to do is just reduce this one scale on E. Let me see. something small that you can see, of course, and then scale on zeta, so something like that, and then finally we only need to do this is probably, let me try this, scale on X, think like that, and probably everything will be smaller. Or no, so scale, not E, something smaller, and I will add a few cuts to this one. It's completely wrong, so let's think a bit about how it must be. This is the one that need to be in the center, so this one is clear seam, and this is also clear seam, and probably it's just like that. Let's unwrap only this one to see if this is going well, and then in that case we can check everything, unwrapping, rotating everything, and scale 4 times smaller. You can already export. Let me restart also the Unreal. So this one should be something like that. A few details. Of course, we are missing the bar here for all of them. So this is something that I'm not adding here because it's array. So I will have a lot of them. I don't want to have them. I will add later on in another mess. What we need to do is just try to make something here. Let me check some picture about something that I could use as a whole. Probably it's just the surface. I have here a few things as reference that we could use. Of course, trying to do something simple that is easy to model, and also if you are thinking about how they did, something easy also to carve on the wood. So probably kind of flower or thing like that. I think I will use the same flower I'm using for. So this flower I will use kind of things, or maybe it's too complex to model this one. So I could try to do something simple with using circles, and then try to do something simple. Need to think about this. I don't want to duplicate already until I have all of them working, so that's why I don't want to use this. So the first thing is cutting down this, and then I will use this one as I really don't know, or probably we will leave just as it is, or I will just make kind of cross something simple. So I will just use another cube, and then just reducing coming here. This is another object that I'm using later, this boolean to redo this one. So that's the scale. I will have the scale for X 2 times bigger, and then I will just duplicate everything and rotate on E 90 degrees. And this is kind of the surface that I'm trying to do, just to cut down. So I can now use something smaller. I will just try to do something in the middle, and even something bigger. Let me see how it goes with this that I will call this one will be cross helper. And this is as helper groups, so I don't need to export this one. And for that I will use this boolean. This is probably need to be the first one, and the one is cross helper. And what I'm doing is just difference, but also I don't want to see this one, so it need to be high to see how it's going. And where now is the difference intersection. What is happening here? Not this one, is the difference between them, and I don't know why it's just not going to be difference. Something's not going well. So this is my cross, which is just already cutting down completely this one, so I don't see why it is that's the union. This is fine. If I do the intersection between them, what I want to have is just the difference, so it's just removing from this, but it's not being removed at all for some reason. Let me see, just applying this one. Oops. So let's try apply, and then what is exactly here, so you can just probably remove the faces, and that's all. It's only faces, and this is something strange. Yeah. This is going quite bad. But anyway, we need to triangulate again everything, so that's why having this not so bad. And this one need to be cut down, so yeah, this is something going bad enough to know how this take this one. So what I have is the surface. What I want to have is just cutting this one. For some reason it's not working as expected. This cross helper and hit this one, and the different the problem is this is working as expected, but the thing is the faces are not well done, so in that case we have those things cutting and not being so it seems to me that just this is the only way to go, and then we need to recreate everything. But also this cross should be much better on the way that need to be this is one face and not having two of them, as you can see here. So in that case I could probably try to use or merge all of them. So in that case I will select one of them and then I will merge with another one. So this is the faces, this face, and this face, and then I will just separate this one, and I will try to merge with the last. Let's see what's happening. Joining, and see. Not joining. What I want to do is this Boolean modifier. So I'm just the union for both of them to see if they are just matching with the points that I want to have. So this is apply, and I want to desist this one. Yeah, what I want to have is just the vertices having here, so I will just later merge them properly as it should be. I'll also remove the doubles. I have a few of them, and now the faces that are just merging everything. Probably I will just delete all faces, only faces. I don't want to see also this one at the moment because I'm working only on it. So for that I have a few strange things here. So the edges, and what about those edges also that need to be removed, all of them together? Well, this is not the one. Let me see also the vertices, because it's just something really simple that we are just, I don't know, it's completely dirty. This union that I was just trying to do. These are all vertices. I don't need this vertex, and also I have here a couple of them. Oops. Why not? Okay, this one is not working. Okay, anyway, what I want to do is just, this is one face, and this is another face. This one should be another face, and this is another face here, and this is another face. What I'm doing right now is just keep this one. So duplicate, move out of this, and then invert, delete everything. Okay, this is completely wrong. So now we have this surface that should be much nicer, with not duplicated vertices or anything like that, and then just extrude, and we have our surface finally much clean. And that's the one that I'm using with a Boolean operation for this one. So this is the one that we have here. And for this bench, well, this one needs to be something like that, much longer. Okay, and now for this I will use this Boolean for this is the one that we're using. No, this one. Okay, so I will use this cross helper, and if we have this, probably now, as you can see, it's much nicer and clean, this cut that we are trying to do. So I say it's too big, I mean it's too much, so what we need to do is just taking this one, making it smaller, and hiding this. We can check again how it's going. Probably I need to have something longer, I'm not sure about this. So we have here already this and that. Being honest, I really don't like it. And probably I will make longer this one. So here I will take this and this, and I will do scale X 2 times, and the same for that. so we have scale 2 times. We have something much stylized, and then smaller here, and then just removing this one to check how it's going. This is much nicer to have something like that, but still probably small, so we're going to create something bigger. We could try much bigger. That's fine. We can easily modify later this surface in the future, so I hope that this is fine. And I will just apply for this the booleans will be much clean up, and we need also to delete this face, but only the face, and also this face, only faces, and we need also face because it's not triangulating properly, and we need to manually, I think. Well, let's try automatically everything. So Ctrl T, and well, we need also this. Triangulating should solve our problem with all those triangulation. What we need to do is also adding here a few cuts for this cross. So I will take this. For some reason it's not going together, so this is same on. I will just cut some places you cannot see, something here. So after that we'll see how is this going. This small cut, something here is going wrong. This is fine, but this is from outside, so probably we are missing something here to cut. Since no, well, the thing is I'm missing here a few triangles. This is not being well triangulating for this one, so this is the one, I think. Let's try again. Now it's fine. As you can see, this is really nice. And we can already export and see how it's going in the engine finally. Export, save here, and re-import. Okay, well, we didn't add all those merges, but you can see, and also we need to work a bit on normal direction for the face that I see they are wrong, so that's why you cannot see this cross. But anyway, as a little detail could be enough, and since nice. We are also missing this one. Yeah, what is my, this on the button already? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we need to put all of them. Our bench need to be matching with the floor, which is already a bit to the top. What is this floor here? So yeah, that's the thing that we are missing. This small thing, small detail here. Well, even it will be more because we need to have this thing there. So kind of this with the detail, and also watching this. So we have now all of them. And we can duplicate here. Let's chat here. Okay, but anyway, we are missing all of them. For some reason I have here, but not the array. Anyway, it's fine. Is it matching with the wall? Not. So we have fit space here, but more or less fine. I like it. I mean, we need to work on the aligning, but more or less that's fine. It's nice, and we are also missing this stick on the button to use for all of them that we need to create. Let me just check about the lining, how it's going. Well, also about the faces that we have here. So we need to recalculate all of them. Now it's fine. I wonder why this is not showing my my array here, and I don't think that I need to apply this one, but let me see if I just in the export use modifiers. Yeah, this is using modifier, because you could just do that and then cutting the one to there, but I'm using, so that's why apply modifiers all of them. So that's why I'm expecting that this is working, but it's not. Yeah, it's completely wrong again. This one and this one. Export, export, re-import. Hold on. Okay, sorry. But why? And I wanted to know why I cannot see my array. I mean, it's applying this mirror, but it's not applying this array for some reason. Anyway, in the end, I will just be applying this one, so it is not a big problem. What we need to do is just duplicate this one to this side also to have something nice, and then adding finally this one here. But I cannot see. Oh yeah, it's here. It is probably small. I mean, here is a bit small. This one I was planning to have something bigger. Here you see. I hope that you can see better when you have this lining. all those details, but I want to use another kind of material for this one. This is going better. It isn't really not enough thick, because I was thinking this is so small here. It should be something stronger, not so small. So probably I need to do bigger, because for example check that this one, which is more or less fine, need to be much stronger. Of course maybe not so much, but this is not enough definitely. So I think I will just I don't need the roof anymore, the floor, I mean I don't need the floor anymore. So probably I need to have this one, this and this a bit longer, and this one need to be longer also. So just selecting from faces will be easier. I think this is also big, and not this one. Something bigger like that. We're just hiding this one. I need to be also bigger, but this something small need to be matching with the one. So this one is bigger, maybe not enough. So let's try to do. That's comparing with the rest of the other benches that is not really big. Well, then initially just having this as mirror, so I will probably remove this one from the right. Need to check also about 4 of them, and they are just moving to 1.5 meters, because I want to use this one as a mirror and then apply and then use again for all those things. Otherwise I need just to do that. Controller, that's cutting, controller, this is cutting, and then take all of them and also them, and just delete all those faces. Oops. Also the faces, and I want to use this one as mirror from 0 axis, and then come here again to use this one for mirror and things like that. So let's delete this, and that's the one that I want to use for mirror. So in that case we need this, and to be exactly in the middle for here. So let's see something like that. G on E, something like this, and I will just align to 0 axis. So this is 0 here, and it's just easy to have this one mirror. Well, I think that we need to also remove all of them. For example here, like coming to this point, but that it is just having nothing. It's just exactly the same, I think. The same triangles. I'm just trying to reduce the number of triangles here, because I don't really need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 10 triangles, and I was trying to merge some of them, so probably it's merging in the end here. So I will do in the opposite way, that you need also there. So yeah, there is nothing to merge. Mirror. This mirror, I need to be E. So we have our bench finally. I don't want to recreate everything about the things here, so should be, oops, this one need to be 0, and probably we are rotation, scale, location, and this is 0e. So why is this one? It's probably this is bigger, so this is 0 just in case. Be sure that this is 0, and this one need to be scale EE0 just in case, and then this is 0, and now should be matching exactly. So this is our bench that I think I'm just already merging. In this case I will use this like orange just in case, and I will duplicate to reuse this one, and I will keep this one in my helpers just in future if I need this. So this will be in helpers, and I don't need to see this one. So what I need to do is this one. This is just the benches that I will have already merging. Let me see this, and I will apply for that. So apply this modifier, and what we need to do now is just dissolve the edges and also dissolve edges. Just checking about the UV because I don't want to have duplicated, or otherwise you have here like a mirror in this texture, and I don't want to have this one, so it needs to be 2 times duplicated, and this one needs to be rotated. I want to see what is this, and this is the cross, which is fine. So we have already one of them that is working well, it's complete, and what we need to do now is just add in the modifiers for array and mirror. In mirror I will use this E, and then array that is moving 4 of them to X distance 1.5. Let's check about the walls again to align properly this one. I will keep kind of 2 meters between them. So this is almost 2 meters for them. So we can already apply this one also, and after that I will add also to have variation. I would like to apply and redo the UV, and not just having let me try this, not having the same one, so I will have exactly the same pattern for all of them. So I don't want to have this one. For that reason I will just apply this, yes, apply here, and then apply this one. So I have all of them completely different, and what we need to do now is adding those bars here that I was just planning to do before. So adding cube, but well, no, here, this is where I want to add the cube now, and then the scale for X will be covering all of them. What I'm trying to do right now is this small thing here. So this one, this is the one that I'm trying to do. It's just taking all of them, so that's why I was not doing together with the mirror or with the array, because I don't want to have all of them duplicated. So we can already hide the walls, and what we need to do is probably this is much easier, faster. So I need to be matching this. That's fine. And I think that we can already delete the one from the button. We don't need this, so I will delete the face. This one, something like that, and then checking from the other side, we need to cover all of them. So something like this, and a few more here, and this one we can duplicate later. What we would like to do also here is something nicer with a curve. So for that I will use in this case a new I will add circle, oops, and I will have much less like 16. Let me check. I need only half of them or even less, so that's why I don't need much vertices, and also being on the button you cannot see this one. So what I'm trying to do is something like that. Just taking this, and then the scale need to be matching. So this is the one matching. This is just easy to connect later, the dots. So this one, and need to be a bit bigger to match with this, and this is too much. So yeah, more or less like this. No problem, because we will probably merge all of them together with this face. So this is something that I'm just trying to do, for example, something like that. And then what I need to do is just cut them from this point and deleting all the rest of the things. For example, this one, I don't need this. So delete all edges, and what I'm doing, now is just cutting this one. So I will duplicate, move there, select this, and delete the edges, create here a new face, which will be of course longer, and I have another one here, but I would like to have probably here something like extrude, something like that, just for things like this. So I will take this distance for the setup, and I will align them. But I'm doing that because I want to have this one nice fill, and I will do that with Alt F. Well, first we need to have this F, and now we can try to do a nice fill and do the same for this side. Alt F, and what we need to do now is just moving this one to the, or not this, to the other side of this thing. I was just using the first cube as a reference because I'm really doing that, and I'm extrude, and we have already the surface, delete the button face, and will be enough. So that's the one that we have. If I'm just taking this, delete all the faces, now also this one. We don't need this. Well, I will move this one there. Faces. What we need to do is just duplicate this one using extrude, and I will just create something like that. Extrude, and then moving to the left, right, and we have already this surface well done with this nice detail there. And the only thing that we need to do is just deleting the one from the button. So we have already this nice marker here. We need to do also this one is just smooth faces, same here. I forgot about doing I was thinking I can use also the mirror and then merge later. This one should be sharp edge, and same here, sharp edge. And also we can mark seams already, and the same in that case. That's the only one. Oops. Mark seams, and I think it should be working well. Let's try to do something like that and find where this longer is. This is the one longer. but for some reason here is something that or we have here also a face that we don't need. This face and this face also. And finally what we need to do is just duplicate this one to be aligned also to the another one. So what I'm doing is taking all those faces and I'm taking another one. No, so duplicate this and see if we are moving anything. No, it's fine. And move to the another one thing here also. So we have this one duplicated. Okay, and we have already this for the benches, but yeah, I'm a bit stupid because we need to have also here. Yeah, I see. Okay. Let's duplicate here also, and just duplicate and use here in the end. Okay, even not having the UV that I will do now, but we have already this one with no proxies at the moment. But I mean, this is the bench that we are just trying to do. I will just recreate the wall. This is working well as expected, and the only thing is so all of them need to be rotated, otherwise just not going on the way of the material. Rotate 90, we don't care about this. We're using what is this? This is something not going well. I see the cross is not exactly cross for some reason, but anyway. Okay, I just want to see how it's going. This one is porting, and we'll create later the proxy that we are missing. I'm not sure I will have time because I don't have much time right now, but if not I will do out of the camera, it's not a problem. Re-import. Let's see here. Okay, so they are the benches that we have ready. We got the textures since 5, all of them are the same, so not a problem. All the thing is going to down, need to be a bit higher, but in that case we are moving all those things too high probably, comparing with this. So just to be sure, I will just try to move this to this part to see how high it is. Well, at the moment it's not a lot, it's almost matching, but I need to move a bit high this one, so that's why I would like to move everything to the top, but in that case I need to move all those things down. Let's see what can we do with this. The first thing is the floor, having this one as reference, otherwise it's not enough. So this is the one that we have, and probably we'll move in the future also the floor. So this is like 10 centimeters, and then I would like to have all those faces a bit down. Let me see how it's going down. Probably I need to have the vertices instead of faces to avoid this. So yeah, and then I need to do like this at a minus 0.1, and then just moving the benches there to the right place, I hope. And we rotate this. It's good that they keep selection that you have in the past in the UV, so you don't really need to reselect all of them every time. Okay, so even having this one will be a bit top, this should be matching more or less the same. Well, a few centimeters is not a problem, but not having like 10 centimeters more, in otherwise the NPCs or the players are sitting down far or too close to this. So even like that, I could just move a bit more. So I think I have been moving too high. Anyway, let me try to see how it's going with this sitting down there. So the NPCs should come here and sitting. I hope that they are sitting on the first one, otherwise I will be sitting down later. So let me see. Perfect. So this one is just down here, and I want to see how it's going. This is more or less fine. I will just try to hide this mess to see mine. So this one is hiding on game and then play. Let's hope that it's just taking also this one for sitting, the same one, so we can just compare where is this going. Yes. Just let's see how it's just sitting down here. So more or less seems fine. The only thing is the floor that is not going well. So I mean this is just being down. For some reason this is probably if we move the floor a bit, that I would like to have a proxy for the floor, it should be a bit higher because it is matching with the floor and should be more or less enough. The problem that we have is about the back also is not working well. This is something maybe small. It's something small I see. So we should move all of them. It is just messed right now. I was thinking to move, even just moving the guy there a bit, but otherwise it's just sitting well. So I think we should move this one. Doing something thicker for sittings. I think it's the way to go. A bit more and a bit more on the top also, and yeah, but more or less this is almost finishing the benches for the church, and checking out if 2 or 3 of them could be just sitting here, and just checking about the size. That I think, well, if this one is being aligned properly to this part a bit more, I hope that they have enough space for 3 of them, and this is not a problem, I hope. So yeah, the thing is moving a bit this one out. This is just redoing a bit. Well, anyway, more or less I think that this is nice from the church, having all of them. This is nice. I was thinking about even having a few details here in the middle for some reason, some pick or being something like that. Something as nice as just bench, or yeah, I don't know, probably not, because I don't want to have also a lot of details. It's just small town and need to be something really cheap, otherwise it's just not realistic on this place. So I think that I will just leave as it is. I will adjust, of course. This one I will add the proxies that are really not interesting much, and I will finish a few details on out of the camera. But well, more or less we have already the benches here for the chart, so I think that's enough for today. Having these benches here. Let me try this. So yeah, I think that's all for today. That's the one thing that I wanted to do. More or less working. I will check later if I'm just recreating building the light that will be improving. Of course, it's so plain at the moment, but well, all the charts it will be improving, and I think it's enough. So I'm not planning to change anything, just adjusting a few things that are not working well, adding all the proxies, and that's all. So yeah, we have the benches today for the chart ready, and I will add later to see those seat benches that they can be used even if they hiding, so I'm not planning to have this code again on the church, but just using the one that I have from blueprints, any other benches. So yeah, that's the thing, that's all. So I think that's all. If you don't have any question or want to see something more, I will leave here the streaming today, and maybe I will be streaming this afternoon again, or if not, I will be tomorrow. I'm streaming every single day, but tomorrow will be in the evening, so like 4 or 5 hours later than right now. And the rest of the day, from Monday to Saturday, I'm doing the morning at the same time I'm doing right now. So I hope to see you again here. Hope you enjoyed learning something, and see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.